This is the Enhanced Games. Last summer, they held their first ever event, which garnered billions of impressions worldwide. But after looking deeper, I discovered that this is just a front for a way bigger multi-billion-dollar telehealth play. And as someone who's worked with and audited over 50 telehealth brands, I'll be giving you an expert breakdown of their whole funnel so that you can steal their unique strategies and implement them for your own brand. So let's get into point number one. So what happened? Enhanced Games held their first ever event, as I already explained, and it's safe to say that it got enormous reach. It was one of the most viral topics across the internet for a couple of weeks, and it got 1 billion plus impressions, 4 million plus live views, and $32 million in sponsorship revenue. And obviously the viewers of the event, there was a big mix of different types of people, but a large slice came from, health conscious people, athletes, biohackers, high performance entrepreneurs, and men aged 25 and up. So that's pretty much the kind of viewer audience persona on average. And an event like this is the perfect time to promote supplements and drugs because the target audience looks like that I just explained, and they are most likely to buy that kind of stuff for their own different reasons to maximize their health and performance and whatever, gym gains and anything like that. Obviously this event also has the perfect social proof because it's literally about athletes, pushing the limits of natural performance to break world records using these different drugs and treatments. So yeah, it doesn't get more real than that. And there was one world record specifically broken by this Greek swimmer in the men's 50-meter freestyle. And obviously if the Olympic athletes who were already at the top started using those and joined this event, probably they would break much more world records. But even the fact that they are breaking records here is showing that probably, something is helping them in terms of using these treatments and so on. Now, anyway, how does this tie into telehealth is that during the event, they made 5 different CTAs promoting Enhanced.com where viewers could build their own protocol. And so Enhanced.com, it's a telehealth website. Enhanced is a telehealth brand, and they sell a variety of different drugs and supplements, all under the promise of living enhanced. So they have supplements that are not RX treatments, but they also have a lot of prescription drugs. They have Sermorelin, they have NAD, they have GLP-1s, TRT, and a lot more stuff, as you can see here. Now, let's go into the genius funnel that they're actually pushing, because now we know what they're doing. Now I'm going to be breaking down the entire genius funnel step by step. Now, first step, of course, is the attention generation. So how do they generate attention? And the first part of that is, of course, the Enhanced Games event itself. And obviously, they generate massive attention through this event, but not just through it on its own, but of course also through all the discourse on social media about it, around it, everything they're posting on social media. They have the influencers, they have people posting reels from there and so on. They have a massive social media presence beyond the event itself, and that is generating them so much visibility. Like I said, $1 billion plus impressions and 4 million plus live views in the event itself. And then they use 4 to 5 CTAs throughout the event to drive viewers to their site and buy. Then there's of course the Facebook ads part of this, and this is where it gets really interesting because with all the views and attention they're already generated, their ads naturally perform better. And you can see that pretty much with any brand they have a big brand, they have a big presence, and people know them. The ads don't need to be extremely complex or complicated to drive revenue and drive results because you already have this massive brand, social proof, and everything like that. So you can see that also in their highest performing ad, which is super simple, just the product itself, shop enhanced peptides, GLP-1s, testosterone, and more, and then shop now. And it's extremely basic and wouldn't necessarily be the highest performer in an ad account for a lot of less famous brands, I would say. Then they also run a mix of UGC ads, and they have a bunch of athletes to leverage, Hafbor, Julius Björnsson, the Icelandic strongman guy, one of the world's strongest men who holds the deadlift world record. They also have authorities like Mitchell Hooper, plus then just regular everyday UGC creators that they're, pushing ads from. And you can see some of the examples here. Here's from UGC, here's from Thor, the strongman, and then here from Mitchell Hooper as well. Then comes the conversion mechanism after all of this. So they have their quiz funnel, which I can break down quickly here. So they have the commitment questions, which are kind of not necessary for the treatment itself, but it boosts commitment. So there's, for example, why do you want to lose weight? And there's multi-selection here. Then there's people experience unique effects from weight gain. Do you experience any of the following? So confidence, lower confidence, hair loss, etc. And then, these are the kind of commitment and zero-party data collection slides. Then you go to education, lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. That's what tirzepatide patients can lose, or that's what they lose on average, etc. Then there's social proof slides. So for example, here her individual transformation, lost 40 pounds over 5 months, and there's before and after images. Then purchase options at the end of the quiz. So there's tirzepatide, for example, there's monthly plan, 3-month supply, 6-month supply, 12-month supply, and obviously the longer plan you take, the more savings you get on the monthly price. So you're pushing towards the upfront options to give them savings, but lock them into a longer retention and higher LTV straight away straight from the gate basically. And yeah, that's pretty much it on the quiz side. And then for the website website itself, they have the purchase options there already. So this is an example of a microdose GLP-1 product page. They're pushing towards the upfront options again. So 3-month supply, 6-month supply, save this much, save this much, save this much, and then add to cart. And then which is interesting here, or what is interesting here, is that they're basically pushing straight to the checkout without the quiz if you're going to add to cart from the website itself. And this often, obviously results in more people reaching this checkout than if you would have the quiz in place, but it comes with its own trade-offs, because basically people have to still complete the health intake and the necessary steps after the payment, which might cause higher refunds, or you need to follow up really well to make sure that these people actually end up completing the rest of the things and there's not going to be cancellations or refunds. But anyway, this is a choice that they've made so far, and I've seen a couple of other brands do the same thing in the space. But here's an example of when you're going through the website to cart to checkout, and then you're just straight to the checkout. You provide your information. After the payment, I'm assuming there's going to be the actual necessary health information and the steps once they have already completed the checkout. Then comes their lifecycle marketing. So I'm gonna make you a really quick breakdown of what I've seen so far. So obviously they have on their website pretty great and simple front-end pop-up. So you've got 25 off. What are you looking for? So there's zero-party data collection and micro commitment step on the first window. This feeds the segmentation potentially, so they can build, for example, different welcome journey for people who are looking for lean body composition versus any of the other goals here. Then you have a second step, which is after the data collection and micro commitment. You've got 25% off your first order, and then asking the email address. And then in the last window, the confirmation window, they're already giving away the discount code, or they're not waiting until the welcome email to give it away. This is really good, because if people are warm and they want to buy, you don't just want to push them to your email without any reason. It's just increasing friction. So you want to offer the code already here, and then you want to have the retargeting emails for those people who don't convert straight away. So this is pretty good. This is looking really good, and it aligns with the modern and good feel, smooth, streamlined feeling of the website itself. So then going into the welcome email, so far I've only received this one email with design and visual feeling that doesn't really match the modern look and feel of the website or the pop-up. This email was also sent more than 1 hour after sign up, whereas ideally obviously it would be sent immediately after the sign up to catch those people who sign up but don't save the code from the pop-up or don't use it instantly. So you don't want to get in a situation where they don't copy the code, they leave the pop-up, and then they don't have anything in the email to use it anymore. So then they just bounce away because they kind of lost the discount. So this is something that I noticed. It's sent too late, and it doesn't really match the same modern, streamlined, smooth feeling that the website itself has and the pop-up itself has. So this looks much smoother. Also the buttons are different shape and everything. Small things, but it makes a difference if you want to have cohesive feeling in the emails and in the whole funnel. This is also quite text heavy, and a lot of the information here could be explained with more infographics, visuals, and these kind of graphical elements to make it more readable and make it more modern and smooth and valuable, and also convert better, obviously. But then that's pretty much it. So far, this is the only email I've received from them after signing up, and this means that they're pretty much missing the most crucial parts of the funnel unless they have built them, but I'm just for some reason not receiving them after going through the funnel. So what I'm not seeing, for example, is the abandonment journeys. If they abandon the quiz or the cart or checkout, I haven't received any email after those touch points, and these are the touch points we add for all of our clients we work with and what have the biggest impact on the front-end conversions. For context, the best brands in the space are getting up 30% of their total sales from these recovered abandonments. So people who drop off at some parts of quiz or checkout, and then we recover them with these retargeting emails and SMS and get them to convert again. So they're losing out on a lot of that, even though the front end and the brand they've built is super strong and probably kind of covers for some of those issues or missing parts on the email side. So for example, questionnaire abandonment, a flow that triggers when patient doesn't finish the questionnaire. I have a full tutorial here. Since you're watching this video, you're going to be able to find it and watch it from here. But the goal of this flow is basically to send reminders emphasizing value and addressing objections, link them back to the pre-filled questionnaire with a magic link, include educational content or social proof, pretty much handle all of the objections from most important one to the least important one, stacking those one by one, email after email. And then at the end of the flow, there should be nothing left for them to, have objections for. And then they either convert or they don't convert. And then at the end, we can have obviously an extra incentive for them to try to get them over the fence. Or if they still not convert, we can ask feedback from them like, hey, what's causing you to hold back? Can we help you somehow, direct into the customer support, etc. So here's an example kind of template that you can use as one of the emails in this flow. It's kind of like an FAQ email made as if it was sent personally by one person in your team. So it's first name from brand name. I'm reaching out regarding the questionnaire you're filling earlier. We're here to assist. Here's your recovery link. And then including some of the most important questions that they might need answers to. And then at the end, there's another signature and then a link to the checkout or the questionnaire itself. Now, I don't know fully what the rest of their backend looks like. like, and we don't have all of that data available, but they seem to be missing a lot of the key parts of the funnel, like we already explained. So haven't received any email newsletters, only received one welcome email, no abandonment flows, no post-purchase flows, no cross-sell and upsell flows, no cancellation or win-back flows, or SMS marketing either. Obviously they might have some of this in place because I haven't purchased, but at least I wasn't able to find these from anywhere online. What I do know is that if you're a telehealth brand, you can click the first link in the description here to book a free retention marketing audit with me and with our team, so we can see if we could have a fit. We would be fit to work together, help you grow using these insights we've gathered across 50 plus telehealth brands we worked and audited in the past years. Now, in conclusion, other telehealth brands cannot really compete with a brand like this because they can buy ads, but they cannot buy this kind of attention, proof, or brand familiarity. So that's what Enhanced has. They have unbuyable attention, at least as proof, and they have the everywhere effect, which is really important topic here. So the everywhere effect makes even blunt ads feel familiar, and familiarity lowers resistance, while a recurring prescription plan captures the value over time. The application for you potentially running your own brand is that if you want to do something similar, you want to build a media property around the outcome your treatment already promises. And this is just one way, obviously, to make a brand successful, but is good inspiration for you if you want to think about these different ways to make your brand more successful than it is right now. So number one, pick the outcome, choose a visible transformation your treatment can credibly support. Number two, build a show. So create some sort of a series, a challenge, experiment, something like this, maybe a reality format people would watch without seeing an ad. Then number three, cast real people for weight loss. For example, this could mean following families or patients through the full treatment. Then, four, make results visible, which turns every episode into accumulating evidence, not in one-off testimonial. So this could be like the show. If you have some sort of a show or reality, you can make every episode something like this, based on this practice. And then number five, capture the demand you've generated with the help of the other steps here. So route viewers into the questionnaire, into your website, treatment recommendations, and eventually to the subscription of the treatment. Now, if you want to see how HIMSS build the same kind of machine with their own way, you can watch the full breakdown of HIMSS, $6.7 billion marketing funnel, and how it turns category-specific demand into patients. So you can click the screen right now to find this video, and I hope to see you there.